So this is leetcode number 15, threesome. Given an array of number of integers, other elements of a, b, c in num such that a plus b plus c constitutes 0. Find all the unique triplets in an array which gives the sum of 0. So as you can see in the example, we have this array here, and the solution set is -1, 0, 1, which sum up to 0, -1, -1, 2, sum up to 0 as well. So for this question, we can use the two-pointer method. So before we think about the two-pointer method, we can use brute force. Since we'll have A, B, C, so A we loop from the first one to the last one, and B and C as well, so that one traverse is n, so it's n square time complexity. But if we use 2 pointers, we can reduce n squared to n cubed to n squared. So basically we fix A. So A is first this -1, and then 0 is 1, 2, -1, -4. After fixing A, we can consider B and C as 2 pointers, 1 point from the start and 1 point from the end, and they come to the middle. So when doing B and C, it's actually not n square, it's actually only n. So let's do this. Going to change this to then. So before we do anything, we need to sort this input array from the smallest to the largest, so that the two-pointer method makes sense, because if the sum of B and C is greater than the target, which is 0 minus A, if it's greater than that, we decrease C, otherwise we increment B. So here, as we can see, this is fixing A, and then this is B, this is C. And we changed the threesome question to a two-sum after fixing A. So in this case, B plus C plus A equals to 0, which means we find triplets that we want to add to the answer. we have a space to store the answer, and then if we find anything, the result we want is these three numbers. So we add ABC to the array list. And then we add this current ans to the final answer. We return the answer in the end. Another thing we want to consider is that we do not want duplicates, since in this currently it's possible to have duplicates. So we can consider the case where this is -1 and this is also -1, which means that in here, when fixing the first number, we want to consider whether this one is equal to the previous one. If that's the case, we skip this one. And here, we also need to do the same thing. So if it's less than target, we want this to be bigger, which means we move the first pointer. And in the last case, which is b plus c is greater than target, which means we decrement the second pointer. What else? I think we still need to deal with the duplicates in this while loop somewhere. So before we do this, if we find an equal, so for instance, if we have -1, -1, 2, what if this is also 2 and this is also -1? And then another case is also -1, -2. So we want to move the pointer until a different number. P1 is +1, and the other is P2 equals to P2 minus 1, P2 minus minus. Let's try this. Alright, you can see I have a lot of errors before. One thing that I tried here when the time limit exceeded is that I didn't have this line before. To check whether there's a duplication, what I did is that I use ans.contains the sub list, which I think is exceed the time limit. So we need to use this method.